All right, we are back. It's the Built by Vitality podcast. My name is Steve Pinkerton, and I am with my permanent guest,
Philip Lewis.
I want to start with today, before we get into our first week of Jiu Jitsu and what that meant for us, and kind of what our experience was, and how we can relate that to a lot of other things that we do. I want to tell a story. Can I tell a story?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You know, I've got two girls. 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. And whenever we go on trips or pretty much whenever we do anything, right about the time we get ready to start.
Oh, gosh, I already know.
They say,
I'm editing this part out.
They say, Daddy, I've got to go to the bathroom. And I look at them and I think to myself, why? I don't understand how this happens. So a lot of times, if my wife's not there, I'll be like, hey, it's body hardening. Figure it out. You know what I mean? And now you're going to have people that are like, it's not safe to hold it.
That's true.
I get it. I know. Okay, I got it. I'm not making them like hold it for 30 or 40 minutes.
I think
just to teach them a lesson in planning.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And here I am. We're doing podcast number 57. And we're just about ready to hit the button. And Philip looks at me and says, do I have time to go to the bathroom? I got to go pee. I said, no, we don't.
Nope. So I'm holding it.
So I hope this was going to be like a 20 to 25-minute podcast.
Oh, man.
I'm really thinking we're going to stretch this a little bit.
I'll go right in the middle of it.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we started we're technically about 3 weeks in, but
I'm like 3 weeks in a day. I'm like a little ahead.
All right. Philip's got a little lighter schedule at Vitality. He kind of comes in late, leaves early, and he's got a little extra time on his hands.
All right.
Guys like Spencer and I are grinding.
I got you.
You know? Okay, so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about what our first week experience was, because I think you can make the case that starting jiu-jitsu is comparable to, for many people, probably just as intimidating or just as hard to kind of start it as a fitness program as CrossFit would be. Mm-hmm. And we've been doing this a long time. The gym's been open for 12 years. And when we finished our first class, I remember we came back and me and you were like, man, it makes you appreciate what a new member feels like, what they feel like when they come into their first CrossFit class or their first experience. And that made a lot of sense to me because, what were your thoughts on that? When we finished, that was what, you're a real cerebral guy.
Yes,
you're a real critical thinker. You're a deep thinker.
Yep.
And you said that, and I was like, gosh, that's probably, that's a really interesting topic.
I feel like a fish out of water. I didn't know anything about it. So I can imagine when somebody comes in the first time at the gym and they're going to do a personal training session or a class or whatever it is, and they've never been into a gym before, they've never done an exercise program, and then they're like, I'm like, hey, let's start with just a basic air squat. I mean, you can do that all the time. We do that all the time. That's nothing. But to somebody else, you look at their air squat and you're like, man,
how do they not know how to control their body?
How do they not know how to do this? Yeah. Like, this is just body weight. You're up and down. And you will be surprised how many people just can't do that. And then it takes you back and you're like, okay, I really got to break this down for this person. It's not as simple as my mind is making it up to be for them. Like, it's really difficult for them to do this properly. So I felt like that in jiu-jitsu. He'd be like, hey, just do this. And I'm like, can't. I'm sure it's pretty basic for Steve over there. But when he told me to shrimp the first time, I didn't know if we was going to Red Lobster or what we're doing. I look like a crazy person on the mat.
There are just things that the fundamental movements, and that's how I would compare it. CrossFit or fitness has a ton of foundational, fundamental things about it. Well, jiu-jitsu has a ton of fundamental things that go along with that. And you would think that being good at one would make you good at the other, and it really doesn't have any crossover from a performance perspective. Because like you said, I don't think that we'd probably lose some followers if you had me demo how my reverse somersault was, or whatever that was. He said,
reverse roll.
Yeah, just roll over up, backwards. Just stick your. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, I can do that. And I got down there, and
he took me out.
It was.
He come in my lane. Big guy rolled back. Said, "Hey, fella, we come all the way over to this side."
I felt like a baby giraffe.
Yeah.
I lost control of my body. I lost control of my legs, and then we had to do. He said, okay, we'll just forward roll down the mat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, done.
Just roll over.
So I rolled over like 7 times, and I remember I stood up and I was like, oh man, I'm extremely dizzy right now. And my stomach was kind of like, and I had to talk to myself for a second, like, don't you dare. What are you doing? Snap out of it.
Yeah.
So I acted like it was all good, but it took me a good 15 seconds before I realized, like, okay, we're good. Yeah. I said, please, Lord, don't make me do that again for a while. But it's just, you're not used to doing that type of stuff. And everybody else, and here's the thing. Here's another thing that clicked for me. The other part that's, for us, it's not, I wasn't intimidated. I knew Steve, and I knew he's an amazing coach. And I knew he runs an amazing school, so it wasn't intimidating for me to go in there. What I would say was one of the issues that I had was he would say these things to do whatever, and he'd teach you really well. He'd show you, and everybody else had been there for a while. Yeah. They just were like, oh, cool. And they would get down and do it perfectly, like whatever. And I'm like, man, why? How do they have this figured out? But think about it. You come in here to class, you got Spencer in here doing something dumb, probably like muscle ups into jerks that are heavier than most people's body. Yeah. And these guys are trying to figure out, well, I just want to air squat and not die.
Yeah.
And then I got, Spencer working out next to me.
in the corner and he's walking on his hands.
And then you look at that and you've got, okay, so you've got the extreme, but then you've got everybody else that generally knows what's going on. You got generally everybody knows, hey, here's what I'm going to do for toes to bar or pull-ups or thrusters. They've got it figured out.
And we were below that.
And we weren't even
we weren't in the general. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't even remotely close to general.
Yeah, no. I'm
trying to figure out, is it going to be like 9 months before this thing clicks, or what do we talk?
I still don't know how to tie my belt.
Well, I'm disappointed in you.
Well, I didn't. There's a couple of my buddies I know that do Jiu Jitsu. They spent their first couple of weeks like YouTubing how to tie a belt. I didn't really do any of that. I try to learn when I go to class. I just learn, from experience.
So what Philip is saying, what he's making a shot at me at is, I don't really enjoy not knowing how to do something. Yeah. So before I'd go to class, I'd pull up a Steve Hall YouTube video, and it showed him tying. It taught you how to tie a belt. And I'm like, okay,
can't blame you for it.
I'm just going to watch it so I don't have to ask and be like, how do I tie my belt? Then you got Philip, who walks in there, and he just throws the old belt over the shoulder and finds the first guy in class like, hey
man, can you tie my belt for me?
Can you just wrap your arms around me and tie it? So they got someone behind him. You know when your dad ties your tie for you in the mirror?
Oh, okay. I walked by Steve's, before our first class together, I walked down the catwalk here at the gym, and I look over Steve's office, and I see on the computer screen, I was like, man, is that somebody in a gi tying a belt? What is it? I walk in, and he's watching this guy how to tie a belt. I said, okay, he's set on this thing.
And I think that the other thing we can hit on briefly is, it wasn't intimidation that kept us out. It was just, there are some things that don't really have a super clear path to start. And I'm sure there's a lot of gym owners that are like, well, you should obviously on your website have a path that says click here to start, and it should have instructions. I get that part. Like, I understand, but even with CrossFit, sometimes you gotta go to the facility. You gotta walk. You gotta figure out where to come in the door. I mean, think about that. Just think. Let's break it down to the most basic point. How many people walk in the garage doors because like, I didn't know there was an entrance?
Yeah.
And we kind of giggle at that because it says Vitality Fitness on the doors that enter in, but they kind of, when you come up there, there's some anxiety, there's some stress,
Where do I park? Oh my gosh, which door do I go
There's
into?
a lot of decisions, and they're all small decisions, but you can see how, these 8 to 10 small decisions can overwhelm people to say, you know what, I'm just going to start next week. And, I've been thinking about jiu-jitsu for, man, I don't know, 2-3 years. But my hang up has always been, I really want to know, I want to be referred to the school by somebody. I want to know that I'm not going to go and get my elbow snapped out or shoulder blown out. Because guys like us, we can't afford to, spend 6 weeks in a wheelchair with our job. We just can't do that. And maybe that was an excuse. People can use the same excuse as CrossFit. If you're let's say you're a surgeon, you're like, well, I just can't risk,
messing up my wrist
or my hands. Yeah. I get that. But it took someone moving into our facility to rent a space from us before we were like, okay, hey, you know what? Yeah, I want to do that. And even then it was like, well, now I got to take the first step of, okay, when do I go to class? When can I go? What's my schedule like? And the other thing for me is my schedule has been set the same for, I don't know, years. For example, Thursdays, I don't work out. I can count on one hand how many times I've worked out on Thursday in the last 12 years. It just hasn't happened. So there are things that I just have dialed in with my schedule. And now all of a sudden, a priority of mine is to get over to class. And a lot of those days that we train are right in the middle of things that I've already allotted other time for, whether they're meetings, whether I've got other training obligations. So the other challenge for me was trying to find the time to do something that I really want to do. And I can see where the rub could be. If you don't enjoy whatever it is that you're fitting in there, you're not going to keep doing it because you have to sacrifice something. And for me, it's very simple because I'm really excited to try and learn a new skill. So it's easy for me to rearrange my priorities a little bit. But there was a trickle-down effect of, man, there had to be some changes that are made. And that's why I think a lot of people don't start some of these, these other things that excite them, because the hassle of trying to rearrange your schedule is just too much for them to logistically figure it out.
Yeah, I think going, like you said, we've noticed if you go in there and you go pretty hard, it's tiring. Like you actually, like if you're in there for 2 hours, it's a workout. But maybe later that day, instead of doing a strength when we normally work out at 1:30, maybe instead of doing the strength and then we go and do the Metcon or whatever after, maybe that day we're like, hey man, we went really hard in jiu-jitsu today. Let's just do the strength. And then we can make up a little lost time of when we were in jiu-jitsu by not doing the Metcon that day or something, because we already kind of worked it. We have to pick and choose so you can get other things done. But you don't mind that because you enjoy learning that new skill and doing that.
Yeah, and I think the other thing it gave me an appreciation for is throughout the day, I basically am moving from decision to decision, and I end up usually the one that has to make a decision on something, whatever it is. As a small business owner, that's just what I do. I go from problem to problem, and to be able to completely disconnect from that. Now it makes so much more sense to me, and it always did. I mean, I always understood that's why a lot of people come in here and they need the structure. They want to be told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, because they've been making decisions all day long, and they want to just relax. Yeah. And I say relax by just turn their brain off, Yeah. And that's exactly what I feel like when I walk into that class is, man, Steve comes out. You meet somebody now that is just as passionate about what he does as we are about what we do, and I think passion recognizes passion. I don't think it's hard to place that we love what we do over here, and because of that, we know when someone's genuinely like excited to train or excited to coach or excited to do something, and that's what I see with Steve from day one. You've got a guy that is such a high level jiu-jitsu, a 5th degree black belt, something insane, which when you hear it, you're like, oh, he must be pretty good. But then and we haven't even seen it. No. Okay, we haven't even seen it. But when you have someone that when he puts his hands on your arms and
Yeah.
he just goes through something at like 20%,
Yeah.
and you realize how much control he has over things. It's a humbling thing to be able to train with someone that is so proficient at what they do, but yet has such a passion for teaching it and is so patient. Because I don't know, I look at that and I'm like, man, I don't know if I would enjoy teaching beginners the way that Steve enjoys teaching beginners.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard. It's a hard thing hard thing to find. Someone.
Imagine if you had to teach foundations class every day. That was your job. You did new people every day, all day long. You probably did that a lot when you first opened the gym.
We did. For years I did that, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so now you don't think you would.
But over time, there's a part of me that, and maybe it's because I guess I look back and I say, okay, we're very hungry. Like you can see that we're not bored with what we're doing there. I think that over the years, it's a 50-50, maybe 40-60 here, where some people would come through before we had EvoFit, and they were looking for fitness, and CrossFit probably wasn't the right step for them, so they weren't as excited about it. And when someone's not as excited about going through that process, it kind of takes a little bit away from it. So once we started EvoFit here, it fixed all of that, Then the people that came over to the CrossFit side, once they've been doing EvoFit for a while, it made perfect sense. Yeah. On the Jiu Jitsu side, there is no EvoFit to CrossFit. When you come in, you're in it. And I think that is a beautiful thing about the Jiu Jitsu because it will weed itself out. Mm-hmm. I don't know that you're gonna make it past the first week or two if you're not truly intrigued and entertained and you feel like you're getting what you're looking for out of it. For me, it's 100%. I 100% believe that there's nothing that we do in those classes that won't make me better at every other area of my life. The discipline, just the learning a new skill. I mean, think about it. When's the last time you did a CrossFit workout that all of the movements that we did in there were things you sucked at? I mean, what are you talking? 7, 8, 9 years ago?
Yeah, like when you first start, I guess, or when I first started, like I'd see people do a muscle up and do all these. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can pretty much. It doesn't matter how good you are. I can do all that now.
Come back to a kid like Spencer.
Yeah.
What movement does he have that he's not above average at in the CrossFit world?
None.
So, at that point, the self-discipline it takes to continue to push to now make those super marginal, the 2.5 pound PRs on your power clean or squat clean. Whereas
mentally, you got to be okay with that. You'd be like, man, I've been training for 6 months and my PR went up 5 pounds.
Yeah. Or
like,
even worse, hey, I just spent 4 weeks in doing a squat heavy little mesocycle, and my squat went down.
Yeah.
You
get to
in the beginning, everything you do improves whatever.
Yeah.
You could do nothing but power cleans, and all of a sudden your squat's getting better because you just haven't been exposed to it enough.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what's so important about this is every day now I go over there, every class I'm in, there's nothing I'm good at. There's nothing that I'm even average at. Nothing.
You're pretty good when you get on top of me. Your weight.
I'm good at laying 240 pounds on top of somebody.
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
I ain't got that.
And I'm good at going about 8% speed after Steve shows me 17 times how to do something. I can roll turtle speed through there. So if I ever get this, so check this out. I figured it out. If I do get in an altercation, what I need to do is I need to do the old timeout and say, hey, listen, we can do whatever we're going to do. I just need you to move about half speed. Right. Just half speed.
Yeah. Let me get situated
Can
first.
you throw that one more time? Missed it. Throw it one more. Give me that overhand one more time. Got it.
I got a better decision for you. A better out. Call me.
Or we just go everywhere with Steve.
Or we go everywhere with Steve. Okay.
And I think it's interesting because a lot of people would say, man, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like to not be good at things. And trust me, you know me. I do not enjoy not being good at things. I mean,
I don't enjoy not knowing that stuff or not being good at it. That's why I told you, I was like, if I start this, like, I probably won't stop until, I don't know, until you just can't. Like, I don't know.
It's tough for you because it's like, man, it's kind of like working out with Spence. You're really kind of shooting for second place.
That's
you know
good.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
But
compared to Steve Hall?
No, we're not quite. We're not going to include him in our. It's just me and you right now.
Oh,
it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Like Shannon's up here, Steve's up there. We're just.
Oh, Shannon.
We're fighting for the bottom.
Yeah, we're fighting for the bottom. Okay.
And here's another thing. So, one way that our culture has developed the gym is you can't have egos when you come in here, because if you have egos when you come in here, you're going to get smacked around by girls, by guys, by people half your age, by people twice your age. It doesn't matter what demographic you want to.
Yeah, it's very humbling.
You come in here, you're going to get humbled. And just the other parallel is we walk into class and Shannon is a female Jiu Jitsu. I believe she's a blue belt. And she's about.
I think she told me she was 140. 135,
man,
140.
soaking wet with a wet gi, maybe 140. Yeah. So, and I'll tell you what, she balled Philip up like a cheap doggone bath towel.
She locked my leg, man.
Yeah. And
I was like, man, she's good.
But to me, that's the beauty of it is the last thing you want. And this is what Steve talked about, when we were kind of getting the space ready and kind of having some conversations as we're leading up to him opening. We talked a lot about humility and how his school has changed over the years from being more of a fighting, competitive school to more of a education-based school. And I'm sure some people will look at that and say, oh, well, he just doesn't have the competitors that he used to have. And I would highly disagree with that. I think he's made a decision, just like gym owners make a decision that maybe competitive CrossFitters aren't the demographic you should cater to.
Yeah.
Why cater to your 1% when you've got 99% of the other people that, me and you, we're probably not going to make it to the UFC or any of these competitive situations. Now, he's a big fan of jiu-jitsu tournaments. Yeah. I think that's what they're called, tournaments.
I actually want to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we should sign up for one in a few months.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Negative. So I think that there's still an element of competitiveness there, but what he talked about was the guys that had those big egos, he got rid of them.
Yeah.
Because that's a dangerous culture to create, and he recognized that. And just like I recognize that you can't have that loud, obnoxious egomaniac, because nobody wants to be around that. And now you walk into that, and the culture of that school is so similar to the culture of Vitality, because they're all super cool people.
Mm-hmm. They're all there for the same thing. They're just, nobody's got a big ego in there.
And you can tell, I could tell, I think, one of the things I've gotten pretty good at over the years is I would hope that I'm fairly self-aware. I can read people pretty well. Like you can tell when someone's genuine and someone's not. That's just something that I don't know if my dad taught me that or what. It's just very simple for me to tell. Like the guy with the fake laugh in the back. There's always one. Like, that's ridiculous. You need to just
be quiet.
Stop. But you walk in and I immediately felt like super cool people, but they were waiting to see. Like I think you kind of ruined it for the two of us because you came in all tatted up,
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, hey, I'm not really with him, okay. But no, I'm just saying, like, they were waiting to see, ooh, I wonder if these guys are going to fit in. I wonder if they're going to be humble. I wonder if they're, and then as soon as they realized that, we're super humble, you kind of made that switch. Just like in CrossFit, you get a couple new guys in here, and everyone's just a little bit we're not standoffish. We're just waiting to see, like, okay, wait a second.
Who is this?
Who are these guys? What are they like? And then as soon as you kind of break down that, it's like Brad and Chris. A lot of you guys had never met Brad and Chris from Thunder Valley.
Yeah.
And you got Chris, who's this, monster of a man, and he's got a pretty loud personality. He's super nice guy. But as soon as he had a conversation with people, and Brad had a conversation with people, as soon as you know it, now I turn around, he's over there, coaching Spence in the snatch, and they're having, their long lost best friends. It's funny how quickly that transition makes. You just have to be able to let your wall down a little bit and show that, hey, I'm not coming here to do anything but learn. And it was a cool atmosphere to be able to see that from the other side of the curtain, because we hope that we make that culture here, but now we get to be a part of that culture and kind of get accepted into that other culture from the jiu-jitsu side.
One of my favorite things over there is, we kind of do it over here a little bit. It was more when you were first a member at a CrossFit gym. Even some members still do it, but whatever. We do it some when we work out. Checking your phone. Mm-hmm. Over there, there's no Whoop, there's no watch. Your phone, like the last couple classes, I actually power mine off. There's no silent, there's no vibrate, it's off. And the entire time we're in there, my mind 100% is like, okay, what do I do with my body? What's the next move? Like, you don't think about nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's a really good feeling. And then towards the end of it, you might start thinking about, I got to do this right after we're done. You start thinking about work a little bit, but during it, man, that's all it is. That's a good feeling, because most of the time it's phone.
Laura thought I was dead one day because I left my watch and my phone on my keyboard
while you were down
office, because I don't even take it over there anymore. And I was gone for like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and Laura's like, dude.
Something's wrong with him.
He never takes his watch off ever. And his phone is his lifeline. But I don't even think twice about it. I leave it there and I go over. And you're right. It was funny because some of these first classes, I was like, oh, it's 10 to 11 type of deal. And you start warming up, and I look at the clock, and it's like 11:40. We've been there for an hour and 40 minutes. And that school's not, that class isn't something where like, I'm just going to pack up and head out. Like, I'm going to listen to Steve for as long as he's willing to talk and coach. And if he's willing to talk and coach for 2 hours, then I'm going to listen for 2 hours. And that's another thing where you just don't find people like that. You don't find people that he's not looking at his watch.
No.
I don't want to say it in a way that doesn't make him feel prepared, because he's super prepared, but he doesn't have, during the daytime, he doesn't have a curriculum or a structure for that class. He teaches 2 or 3 things, and then he reads the people in the class and says, okay, I want to change it, and I want to add this, or I want to, let's reverse this and back up a little bit and talk about this. And when you have someone that's so intuitive to how that class is specifically going for that day and making changes, and you're able to do that on the fly, that's when you know you've got a special teacher. So, I will tell you that I am more excited about jiu-jitsu, not because I could care less. Like, do I get to, choke you out all, for 2 hours? And rightly so. Philip's been choked me out more times than the opposite. There's been a couple times when I just couldn't figure it out, and he's like, nah, you're just heavy. I said, am I choking? He's like, nah, you just weigh a lot. I said, okay.
I sounded a little worse than that, though.
Yeah. But, it's been fun because, this to me is something that is new. It's something that, it's like changing your diet. Everybody gets excited a little bit, unless you're Spencer, who has to eat 7,000 calories, and he's like, I'm sitting there like, man, I want a day. I want to be Spencer for a day. Can you imagine what I would eat?
Man, 7,000 calories.
Those salads would be back.
Oh gosh,
killing it.
The salads.
But when you switch up your diet, you get excited again. When you switch up your training, you get excited again. I think doing this is a little bit of a jolt to where when I get done with this, I come back and I'm like, man, I feel, I just feel like I'm recharged. It's just different. It's hard to explain. The only thing I would tell you is, if someone had ever been on the fence about doing something like that, do I know what I'm talking about? No. But do I think there's a better school for education and training than Steve's? I'm telling you right now, I'd bet a lot of money on it. There's not. So I think this is that time. You're hearing it from, don't listen to Philip. You're hearing it from me that if you were going to do something like this, there is no better time and there's no better place than to do it, because I'm telling you right now, just give me like another 3 to 4 month head start. So when you come in, I'm the guy that knows how to do it, because you're going to be like, hey, you've been here for 2 months and you still can't do all this stuff. What's up?
Yeah, what's up with you?
So, so I would say that this is the most fun I've had in a long time. Would you agree?
I'm looking forward to going tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I put the gi in my truck today or this morning. It's all washed, folded up. And I was like, man, I get to use this tomorrow.
We should probably at some point maybe do like a little vlog of
what we're doing over there. That's fine. I'm ready. Let's do it. We could just do like a chest mount of a GoPro or something, and just us rolling.
Cool. Well, I don't know that when you say that, you make it seem like I don't know if we would actually
maybe
look like
laying
okay.
there.
Or I can tell Steve beforehand that you think after like 3 or 4 weeks you could probably mount them. And I think,
no.
Isn't that what you said?
I
thought that's what you said.
I
thought you said
no.
You could probably, if you got on him and he was on the bottom and you were on the top, I think you could hold it.
No, I think if he said, hey, I'm going to lay here and I just want you to get on top of me, I wouldn't be able to. I think so. There would be some kind of force field that would not allow me to do it.
One of the things that I'm excited for is one day, Philip's going to be rolling around and Steve's going to tag me out and be like, I'll go a little bit with Philip. I can't wait for that day. Even if it's a year away, I'm pins and needle.
I already told Shannon my favorite day is coming where you partner with Shannon. And she just rolls all over you like a spider monkey. I can't wait.
Oh, man. Well, guys, I wanted to put it in here. I want to talk about this before a month went by and we didn't do this. Just to compare the parallels between starting a CrossFit program or a fitness program and a jiu-jitsu program
or anything.
I agree. In the beginning, you've got to be okay. Think about high school. Think about middle school sports. When those kids start middle school sports, they're terrible at that sport. Yeah. For a year, maybe 2 years. But if they don't ever start, they'll never develop that type of coordination or balance or agility.
Even if they're not bad at it, it's just scary to start. It's a new group of people. Like you said, they're kind of like, are they going to fit in? What are we going to do? Yeah, it's just weird.
And I think you got to get better at, all of us have to get better at getting out of our comfort zone. Me, 100%, I'm talking to myself because I've got my comfort area. I know exactly what my routine is. Like for me, on a Saturday, the thought of turning the other way and going to Earth Fair versus Harris Teeter that's pretty stressful for me. Like
really?
I've got I know exactly the order that I get my food in. I know exactly where I got the same parking spot. I know everything.
One week we should test it. You give me like your main things you have to do that week, and I write your schedule. For going to the store, anything, and I'll have you going to Food Line. You'll be all over the place.
I don't know if I could do it, but I'll tell you, things like this will make us better. They'll get you outside of your comfort zone, and more than anything else, you meet some really cool people. Because odds are, when you find a culture like that we're trying to gravitate towards, that is very opening, that's more of a school-based structure, you're going to find some people that are just like you, and if you didn't do it, you'd never otherwise meet those people. So. Anyway, that's our reaction from our first week or two at Jiu-Jitsu. I think we'll have some more video coming our way, and maybe when Philip and I roll around a little bit, when we get a little bit better, we'll do a little video on that. We'll have Spencer come get the camera, and we'll do a little video.
That'd be good.
That'd be fun. I think people would like to see that.
Yes, they would.
I wonder if
people already asking me.
I wonder if people could put a poll up, and it's not even fair because I think people. I don't know. If you said, hey, who would you rather see win and get choked out, Steve or Philip? Me or Philip?
They're going to pick me. They want me to hurt.
I don't know that they would. I don't know that they would. I think there's a lot of people that would like to see you choke me out. I don't know why that is, actually.
I would vote for that.
Let's maybe we put that as part of the
we'll put that on the Instagram poll or something.
Who would you vote for, Spence? Yeah, see, Spence wants to see me get choked out. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And until next time, this is the Built by Vitality podcast with Philip Lewis. I'm Steve Pinkerton.